Boom, what's up you guys? It's Royce Jacob, and welcome back to the channel. Tariffs have officially been delayed, and the markets are on track for their best session in 5 whole years. This watch list is looking greener than I can recall ever seeing it, especially as far as growth stocks are concerned. And personally, I think that there could be more green on the horizon, and this could be a turning of the tides to the upside if some key levels that I want to discuss a little later in the video are successfully broken above. So I do want to take a look at Bitcoin. I do want to take a look at the S&P 500 or the SPY on the charts, talk about those key levels of resistance that I just mentioned, talk about where we could go if those levels are successfully broken above, and really just get psyched about what this turning of the tides could bring if it manages to hold. Because just up front, I want to make it clear that I don't think we're out of the water just yet. I don't think we're in the clear just yet, which is why I'm calling for these key levels of resistance to be broken above. But with the way things are looking, I am definitely a lot more excited. I'm sure everyone is more excited than they were just a few hours ago, definitely over the past few days. And before we get into the charts, before we talk about these levels of resistance, I just want to do some celebrating with the members of Waves Capital, with the members of the trading team. It's the first link in the description if you want to join, because we have held our ground. We have capitalized on the downside. We have been sharking up call options as the markets were bleeding out. Feeding frenzy. Yesterday, I bought up a whole bunch of Applied Digital, Riot Platforms, and Hut 8 call options with put profits from my Palantir put position that I actually cut in half yesterday, which was very nicely timed. And this morning, as you can see here, this is something I rarely do, which is why I hesitate a little bit. I rarely do this, but if I'm sure existing members won't mind much, because this is what we need to be ready for. This event is what we need to be prepared for and why we've been sharking up call options. So I don't think you guys will mind too much because the work has been done. Now we kind of just, obviously, we're going to take profits. I just sent out a profit-taking flash trade before I came to record this. But it pays to be patient. And when times are fearful, like we've been calling for, you can see here, we've been talking about all of the fear that's been in the markets. This is from yesterday's newsletter. Fear and greed index out of 4. And you can see here, the feeling of despair is really beginning to set in. And I talked about a silver lining in yesterday's newsletter. And this is kind of, I had no idea it was going to come this fast. I didn't think a resolution was going to come this quickly, obviously. But the markets hate uncertainty. And this applies not only to what just occurred, but this is something to keep in mind for every time this happens again, okay? The markets hate uncertainty. At some point in time, it's difficult to believe that there's a scenario at this point in time, it's difficult to believe that there's a scenario in which times get more uncertain than they are now. And in this flash trade where I was talking about Palantir again, taking massive put profits from Palantir yesterday, this was my thesis about the tariff situation. Just my general summarized thesis. I think it's ultimately an over-aggressive, arguably poorly played bargaining tactic, and I think that the actual tariffs won't look anything like they do 1 to 3 months from now. Okay? Again, I had no idea that the resolution was going to come this quickly. I did not know that the markets were going to rip and have their best day in 5 years. Granted, we had some of our worst days in 5 years, so this isn't too crazy. But the point is here, I definitely want to take a victory lap, and I do want to congratulate members of Waves Capital who have been, again, trading this properly and holding their ground and, now reaping the fruits of their labor, so to say. But it's just important, you guys, just when there's so much fear, when there's so much, when it's fear is the base case. When it is when consensus is fear and doubt and uncertainty and doom and gloom, that's typically when it's the best time to buy. And again, it's not like you should just go out and buy call options that expire that week to try to play a bounce. It's taking the long game or playing the longer game. I swing trade options. So, this isn't necessarily the long game, what you guys are seeing here, but playing the medium-term game if you're confident in, just your trading strategy. And once again, just holding your ground during times of unprecedented fear, which is what we've been experiencing and talking about over the past couple of weeks. So again, cheers to you guys. The portfolio is going absolutely ballistic right now. And again, if you want to join the trading team, if you want to join the winning team, and which we are now on track for another historic month of Waves Capital if this can persist, it's the first link in the description of the video. It's my complete portfolio, daily trade alerts, email newsletters, right here, and you can get everything that this box here entails for $15 a month, $40 for every 3 months. You can try it free if you want, if that's what you choose to do. Just peace out if you don't like it. But the reason I do free trials, the reason I price this very reasonably in my opinion for the amount of time and the amount of returns we've seen over, like, just for many members. Existing members, you know the drill. Please drop a comment below and drop some testimonials or whatever. But you guys, give it a shot. I can assure you that, I can't assure you of anything. Nothing's guaranteed, but I really hope, and I'll do my best to make sure that you don't regret it. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for you to join the team and ride the waves with us if you are looking to sign up. First link in the description. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin and the S&P 500. I'll do a Waves Plays members only YouTube video after this, so hit the join button below. That's $5 a month if you want a rapid fire talk about APL, Palantir, Uber, Hood, AI, Riot, Mara, the Bitcoin miners, all that good stuff. But right now, I just want to take a look at Bitcoin. I want to take a look at the S&P 500 of the SPY, talk about those key levels of resistance that I alluded to in the front, up front of this video. And, just cross our fingers and hope that we can break above them. So Bitcoin, the very, very obvious key level here is this line of medium-term resistance. You can see this top yellow line, as I call, is absolute resistance. Technically, this is now absolute resistance, but I'm still going to count this as absolute resistance if I'm being completely honest. And this lower line is conservative resistance, okay? You can see here we have successfully broken above this line of conservative resistance, which is very promising. But I'm still eyeballing this level of resistance and honestly kind of just this previous high from this last level down to be broken above in order to make me really, really bullish on the idea or give me significantly more confidence in the idea that we can ultimately make our way to an optimistic, but what I feel is I wouldn't be surprised to see this struck in the slightest, and that is this line of broken resistance that I think could come into play as broken support that I believe can come into play as new resistance, okay? As you can see here, this line of support, this line of broken support that I believe will come into play as new resistance does coincide with this line of conservative long-term resistance on Bitcoin's like kind of sideways channel pattern that we've, you could say that this is what I would call just overall resistance on. We're not like in a sideways trading range anymore. This is more of just a downtrend, but this is still a level of resistance, again, conservative and absolute up top. And this does, again, this line of broken support coincides with this level of conservative resistance here at the end of the month, near the end of the month, around 103.5. Okay, so once again, we're not in the clear just yet, but we're one step closer. And as I'm looking at this right now, you can see here that Bitcoin is could possibly, again, this market is so gnarly that who knows what's going to happen, but it's promising to see that we are shaping up. If Bitcoin can hold this range from about, we'll just say 82 to 85K, then that is very, very promising because that would potentially set up this inverse head and shoulders pattern here, which would come to a resolution around in the week ahead. Okay, so maybe we trade within a range for a week. But again, if this level of medium-term resistance, absolute resistance, is broken above, and we can make our way back up to this $87,000, $88,000 region, that would give me significantly more confidence in the idea that we can, in fact, rally up to six figures and beyond. And again, if we break these next levels of resistance, we'll cross these bridges when and if we come to them. Things can get a lot more exciting from there. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. The SPY has a very, very also has a pretty key level of resistance here. You can see that this was my primary bounce target for the SPY ever since we started the sell-off, ever since we gapped down here on the 4th of April. And as of today, we have closed this gap. Okay, we've successfully closed this gap right here at about 537 on the SPY. But if I'm being completely honest, I think it's possible. And actually, I think it's likelier than not. Probably we'll see this by tomorrow, that we do see the SPY I mean, I think it's likelier than not that we continue to see this tomorrow. Keep in mind, you guys, and again, this can apply to future, just future strategies as well, or just the way you play stocks and play hyper volatility like this in the future. If there's a massive move one day, it's likelier than not that the following day you'll see an echo of that move. Okay, so again, we saw a massive sell-off a few days ago, like that massive 10% drop, like when Apple dropped 10% and stuff, and then you saw the next day kind of just echo what happened. It's not as significant, but it echoes that, right? And that is because a lot of retail Joes, everyone checking their 401ks, are going home and reading the news and seeing this massive move in one direction, either panicking or getting too excited. In this case, there's a lot of individuals who are going to come home from work, etc., and they're going to be super pumped. And they're going to be like, shoot, I missed out. I need to buy tomorrow morning. And for that reason, we see echoes when there are times of hyper volatility and massive moves in either direction. Okay. So again, things are just looking promising. I'll just say that right now. The SPY, I do think, can make its way up, and I do think this happens sooner than later, either Friday or Monday. Tomorrow's Friday the 11th. So I think we can come up to retest this level of broken long-term support as new shorter-term resistance. I would take us up another 2% or so from current levels, like 2.5%, if we are to see it over the next couple of sessions. And I'll just say that's a price target of like 547, 548. And I will say that would be a very, very advantageous place to take some profits, also because that coincides with this line of just short-term resistance on the current downtrend that the SPY's in. If you want, I will be taking more profits than I have just today on this massive move up. Just again, you guys, even though I think things are going to climb higher, it's foolish in my opinion, especially if you've been buying the dips, to not realize some gains on a massive move like this and so much perceived volatility. So I would look to take some more profits if the SPY can climb another 2.5% or so. But overall, I hope that the SPY breaks out. I hope that Bitcoin breaks those levels of resistance that we discussed. I hope the SPY can break this level of resistance and maybe even make its way up to this prior broken level of support, which is about like 9% up from current levels, in which case I would also look to take some more profits, even though I'm not directly trading the SPY. The SPY is just the benchmark for overall performance and just general performance and growth assets as well. That's why I'm talking about the SPY here. And I'm just going to be keeping a close eye on these levels, and I hope you guys do the same. Overall, exciting day. Good looks. Hopefully this shifting in tide isn't just a rogue wave and is a true tidal shift. And hopefully we do see new highs, specifically in Bitcoin. You guys know I'm more bullish on Bitcoin than anything. Hopefully we see some new highs in Bitcoin come the spring, summer months. I'm confident my money's staying where my mouth is. And again, if you guys want to trade with Waves Capital, know how I'm trading my personal portfolio every single day. It's the first link in the description. I appreciate you watching. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking about all this. And let's keep the ride alive. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace, guys.